BBC News, I'm John Shea. Police in Israel say at least 7 people have been killed in a shooting at a synagogue in East Jerusalem. Several other people have been wounded. Israeli police have called it a terror attack. Yolande Knell reports from Jerusalem.
Israeli worshippers had gathered for prayers at the start of the Jewish Sabbath in a synagogue in this Jewish settlement and were leaving when the gunman opened fire. Israeli police say that officers then shot him dead. Medics rushed to the scene and could be seen treating several victims lying in the road. Local media are reporting that the shooter was a Palestinian from Jerusalem. Palestinian militant groups praised the attack but did not say one of their members was responsible. International concerns will now grow about a spiral of violence here. This deadly attack comes a day after an Israeli military raid in Jenin, which killed 9 people. Overnight, several rockets were fired from Gaza at Israel, leading Israeli warplanes to bomb militant sites.
Residents of the US city of Memphis are bracing themselves for the release of a video showing police officers beating a black motorist, Tyree Nichols, who later died. The authorities have pledged to make it public in a few hours' time. The officers, who are also black, have been fired and indicted for murder. Those who've already seen the footage have described the violence as appalling. Earlier at a news conference, Tyree Nichols' stepfather, Rodney Wells, also called for a peaceful response.
We want peace. We do not want any type of uproar. We do not want any type of disturbance. We want peaceful protests. That's what the family wants. That's what the community wants. We need to do this peacefully.
The director of the museum at the former Nazi death camp of Auschwitz-Birkenau has used commemorations for Holocaust Remembrance Day to call on people to speak out against the Russian war in Ukraine. Piotr Tsivinsky denounced what he called the sick megalomania of the Russian leadership, likening it to the Nazi mindset that drove the horrors of the Holocaust. For the first time, Russian representatives weren't invited to the annual commemorations. Prosecutors in the United States have charged 3 men with conspiring to assassinate a journalist and human rights activist of Iranian origin. The Attorney General, Merrick Garland, said the men were members of an Eastern European criminal organisation with links to the Iranian government. He did not name their alleged victim, but he said the US government would always seek to protect its citizens.
We will not tolerate attempts by a foreign power to threaten, silence, or harm Americans. We will stop at nothing to identify, find, and bring to justice those who endanger the safety of the American people.
This is the latest world news from the BBC. Hungary has accused Green Party ministers in the German governing coalition of seeking to block the construction of a Hungarian nuclear power station financed by Russia. Hungary's Foreign Minister Peter Szijjártó accused 2 senior German Green politicians of blocking an export licence for the control system for the PAX-2 plant. The plant's design incorporates a Franco-German control system excuse me, Russian reactors and American turbines. Excuse me. The head of the UN Refugee Agency has accused Moscow of violating norms of child protection in wartime by giving Russian passports to unaccompanied child refugees from Ukraine and letting Russian families adopt them. Filippo Grandi said his agency would try to reunite the families.
Giving children in Russia, Ukrainian children, children that come from, I guess, the occupied parts of Ukraine, but are Ukrainian, giving them nationality or having them adopted goes against the fundamental principles of child protection in situations of war. We've said it, but I want to say it again, that this is something that is happening in Russia and must not happen.
The Supreme Court in Nepal has barred the Deputy Prime Minister, Rabi Lamichhane, from office for not holding valid citizenship. The well-known television host acquired US citizenship in 2007, rendering his existing Nepali papers invalid. And that's the latest BBC News.